the ego. Results matter. If you're not in the body you want, in the mind you want, living the life you want, you don't know what you're doing. Get an accurate roadmap so you can get results faster. Yes, the journey's important, but journeying correctly in the right direction's more important. What you learn along the way getting those results proves you're on the right path. Those results are going to keep you motivated. It's going to keep you engaged in the game. Get that accurate plan. Let's start executing efficiently. Then we got more to do.
My whole life, man, was always goals, goals, goals. And I made it.
Yeah.
I made it to that spot, and it wasn't like, whoa, like how powerful am I? Am I this awesome guy? No, but mentally, I was like, I made my spot.
Yeah.
I became a firefighter for the city that I wanted to, and I kind of stopped pushing.
Back in here, Iron Church, Travis Carlson, we got a fire YouTube. This one's gotta be good. We're dropping some gems.
What's up, big dogs?
Oh, Gons on the camera, as always, man. We're on that Iron Church, talking about health, wealth, family, finance, faith, all that, man, and that gratitude, that deep, deep gratitude that you gotta prove, man. I appreciate it.
Gotta find that gratitude, man.
Have
That's
to. People about your story, bro.
Yeah, so again, my name is Travis. I've been a firefighter for the last 10 years. Before that, I was a personal trainer for the last 17 years. So I work for the city of Los Angeles. I'm out in Venice Beach. And yeah, man, it's been great.
And the thing is with some firefighters, we got some guys on the roster. It's hard, man. The food, right? The food is a major piece, man, to this entire game, right? Probably the most important piece. And being able to incorporate it at the firehouse.
Absolutely.
Also, with people not always championing you, it's hard, man. That's a big piece. Is nobody's really gonna be so stoked you're on some big health push and trying to cook your own food and tracking your meals, man. You're gonna get a lot of pushback, bro, because it makes people challenge themselves. It's a little bit threatening, right? And so I'm sure, especially at the beginning, when they see it starting to work, that's when shit starts to shift. But definitely in the beginning, I'm sure when you were like, nah, dude, I'm not drinking, or I'm gonna choose this food over that. Tell them a little bit about some of the friction points you had.
Yeah, man. So you know what? The biggest thing for me that like I find out is that whether it's your loved ones, it's your friends, your family, they want the best for you. They truly do.
Yeah.
But no one wants to be left behind.
Damn.
No one wants that feeling
That's
where
powerful,
it's like,
bro.
I'm getting left behind.
Yeah.
So when they see you super motivated, when they see you going after something, yeah, you can get some friction.
Damn, that's powerful, bro.
You know, you were in the military, in the fire service, you know that it's about conformity.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm not saying that that's wrong. That's actually imperative to our survival.
Yeah, it's a major piece.
Is to conform.
Yeah.
Because your attention to detail is what keeps us alive.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? So again, I would never want to take that out. But again, in the fire service, it's a little bit different because I'm gone half the month, but then I have to come home and I have to operate at a level as a father.
Yeah.
I got 2 little ones at home.
Yeah.
I'm a husband.
Yeah.
I'm a community member. I'm involved in my church. So it's like, how do I make that switch between being a firefighter and being able to, when that bell rings, to jump on and be locked in?
Yeah.
But then also, how do I come home
Yeah.
and turn that off?
Yeah.
And become, you know, who I need to be, which is obviously a little bit more compassionate and a low-key guy.
And how have you found to make that work? I mean, how have you found that? I don't like the word balance, but ability.
Yeah, man. So
what works?
So in the beginning, you know, we were talking about this earlier, getting into the fire service, it's challenging. Yeah. You know, I used to sleep on the front lawn of a fire station to get an application.
Damn,
you know, I remember one time literally sleeping in a lawn chair. There was a big earthquake. I called my wife. She was living in Pasadena, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Do not lose your spot."
Yeah.
My wife is my road dog, bro.
Yeah.
Like, she has been my champion. So in a lot of sense, I think I've had it easy because I've always had someone that understands my goals and has pushed me. But yeah, you know, you get to that front of the line, and then they're like, hey, do you have XYZ certification? You're like, no, that's not what the job posting said. And they give me that application back, go home.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
it's
page 11? You only gave me 10 pages.
Yeah, exactly, right? You don't have this certification. So it was challenging to get in. But I fell victim to, my whole life, man, was always goals, goals, goals. And I made it.
Yeah.
I made it to that spot. And it wasn't like, whoa, like how powerful am I? Am I this awesome guy? No, but mentally, I was like, I made my spot.
Yeah.
I became a firefighter for the city that I wanted to. And I kind of stopped pushing.
Yeah.
And finding it hard to turn off, I found myself coming home and having some drinks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was the easy way, right?
Yeah.
Come home, you're all wired up, you're fired up, have a couple drinks in the morning, and it's like, hey, bro, I just worked 72 hours.
Yeah.
I can drink in the morning.
Yeah.
You
What's
go to
the difference?
Yeah.
You're like, time is irrelevant here.
Right? Take a little nap.
Yeah.
Go hit the gym, be a savage.
Yeah.
And then go about my day and everything was fine. But what I found is earlier and earlier and earlier,
Yeah.
that dinner bell would ring and I was having those drinks.
Yeah.
And thank God for my job, I had a time where I would be sober 15 days out of the month because that's how many days I work, right? So I didn't really fall into that point where it got so bad where people were like, hey bro, you're messing up.
Yeah, yeah.
You're missing work. But I was losing myself.
Yeah.
I was losing my presence,
Yeah.
right? And really what it took is getting injured and going back home and going, hey man, I don't want to get big. I don't want to get fat. I've
Yeah.
seen guys get injured, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, let's go back to basics. Let's control myself. And what I did is I dove right back into my nutrition.
Yeah.
Went into my nutrition, locked it in, did my macros, wrote down what I was gonna do, and that was my focus when I was at home. I mean, I'd bring all my stuff from downstairs, come back in, and just that small shift in my mental focus of this is what I'm gonna do,
Yeah.
and then also not being able to train my lower body, only been able to train my upper body, I had a complete program and I had a focus. And it was life-changing for me. It really was. It was at that point where it was like, you don't have any other way to release your stress.
Yeah.
And it locked me back in. And then other than that, after dropping the alcohol, finding out that it wasn't for me, that it wasn't providing anything positive, and it wasn't for the first 30, 90 days of stopping drinking where I was like, oh, this actually was an issue.
Yeah.
This is challenging.
And hold you back.
It was holding me back, but it was going back to basics. When have I been successful and when have I been happy? And that's when I'm locked in on a program and I have a goal. And so since I'm at my city, I'm at my environment, I reached my goal, I need to now make myself a new goal,
Yeah.
a new focus, and that was my diet, that was my nutrition, that was sobriety, and then now everything's coming back and I'm finding myself again. My faith is stronger.
Yeah.
My time with my kids is better, even if it's 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes of presence.
Presence.
It's presence, and that's just, it's priceless, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, with military, with first responder community, it's really challenging to be able to be two people at once. But if you find that daily process and get those small daily wins and find that focus again, you find yourself.
He said a couple of key points there. Is the getting back to basics piece cannot be understated. It's also, there's some simple pillars that he's focusing on. Man, getting back to your nutrition and not just eating healthy. That's, man, I see fat people at the farmer's market all the time. High quality foods, not accurate, not correct. The getting back to basics is measuring, focusing, and knowing accurately what you're eating. Man, and you can't ever perfect that. It's a constant piece, and what it does for clarity, because now you're taking control back. A lot of this is pulling control back, not being on the whims of your desires. It's discipline. That focused discipline and getting on a program and knowing what you're doing, not guessing, is groundbreaking. It's foundational, really, especially when you're needing to get momentum. It gives you something to focus on. And then the next piece he's talking about is that progressive backslide. I had that in the SEAL teams. When I got to the SEAL teams, and then, hey man, now I'm partying a little too much. Now I'm out. I'm still crushing work, but man, I'm going a little harder in the paint on the weekends. And now I'm a little hungover on Monday. But that off the field shit changed my life, right? It caused massive chaos, massive destruction. It was damage control for years to get out of that. Pay attention to that small backslide, man. If you're noticing those speed wobbles, that negative friction back, you're losing yourself, losing your mojo. Hard reset, back to basics is the first piece. Do it, man. Don't wait until it's too late. I'm telling you, it's important.
You know what? And that's a big thing for me that I found is, you know, my father was a drug addict growing up.
Yeah.
My mom was a Christian and a saint and worked until her hands bled.
Yeah.
So I had these two opposite ends of the coin, right?
Yeah.
To see great and to see wrong. And for me, it's so hard to describe, but I feel like I almost had this like fantasy of if I'm gonna hit rock bottom, it's gonna be rock bottom. You know what I mean? It's like almost, is that what I deserve?
Yeah.
I don't really know, right? And so it's like, it was ego, man.
Yeah.
It was ego being like, you're fine.
Yeah, you got this.
You're paying the mortgage.
Yeah.
Your kids still love you. Your wife hasn't thrown you out. You still have your job. It's the ego, but it's really, truly, how many times have you gone to someone that you trust and respect and not ask for a process like how to get in shape or how to build a car, but when you've been asking for moral advice, how many times have you asked that and didn't know the answer?
Yeah.
You know the answer.
Yeah.
So if your conscience, God, whatever you think, to me, I'm a Christian, right? I believe that God speaks to me, but higher power, right?
Yeah.
I think it's so critical for someone to have a higher power.
Yeah.
If your conscience, however you want to look at it, if it's screaming at you that you're not where you want to be, you already know the answer. You don't need to go and seek it. You already know you are stuck and it's time to change.
Yeah, and and even screaming, man, it can whisper. And you still should know. We all know, man, the good decision and the bad decision, man. It's cliche, but it's that angel and devil on the shoulders. You're gonna take that left into that bad decision, or you're gonna take that right into that positive, no friction, not stacking karmic debt decision. Tell you what, when I started making that decision, and Travis can say the same thing, when I was like, you know what, purpose over pleasure, purpose over pleasure, purpose over pleasure, boom, my life got 50 million times better. And also, I wasn't doing damage control behind me, consistently trying to get back to zero. Man, just that alone, not taking back steps, was really the catalyst for a completely different, better life. The clarity came back when I stopped fixing all the shit behind me and then I could focus forward.
It's the hardest part to get started with when you don't have anything that you need to lose, no matter where you're starting in the process. It's challenging. But when you take those small steps forward and get those daily wins, and even if you have 30 days where you can look back and be like, I'm killing it.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my word to myself. It gets so much easier. So it's like, it's hard. You want to shake some people and been like, dude, just
get some space.
Just get started. Separate yourself.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror after 90 days and been like, hey, I kind of want to hang out with that guy.
Yeah, just
like,
try it. Right?
Would you want to hang out with you?
Yeah.
You know, and I can tell you like definitively, like sometimes in my life, no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to hang out with me.
Yeah.
You know?
Just that moral compass. That moral compass that moral compass can get skewed for me very easily. And you're never cured. Willpower is a muscle, so you exercise it gets a little bit easier, a little bit better. You start building some better systems and processes. Pay attention to those daily habits. Make sure they're all good and no bad daily habits. Just right there, you're stacking the deck in your favor. There's so many external variables that you don't have control over. Stack all the things you can in your favor. There's very few people, if any, have ever rode off into the sunset with daily bad habits. If that's just the facts, everybody watching this knows that. So, if that's the case, okay, I'm gonna stack all good habits and see what happens, man. Experiment with your life, man. You know the right way to live. Man, I've been cranking on these shoulders, man. You wanna go over that hammer strength?
Let's do it.
It's kind of like warming up, I feel good. I'm pretty lucky, man. I don't have like shoulder injuries. Like I just had like that car accident. I flew out of a car, like a lifted Tundra on the freeway, and I landed and like kind of fucked my scapula up. But my shoulder just does not grow, man. It's like this left one is just like stagnant, dude. You take any you use pre-workout or anything?
Yeah.
What do you take?
Dude, I've been jamming on that C-Bum, the Essential. So it's actually the cheaper one, which is funny because
C-Bums?
Yeah, C-Bums. He has the Thavage one, which,
okay.
Dude.
Thavage?
Yeah, because he has a speech impediment.
Oh, dude, that's
so
funny.
all of his stuff he calls it Thavage, and like, dude,
I love that.
I laughed so hard because I bet you he probably got ripped on as a kid, right?
Oh, dude.
And now he's the man.
Yeah.
And he just turned his like pain into power. He's like, what's up, dude?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, my pre-workout's called Thavage.
Yeah.
And now I'm 5-time, 6-time Mr. Olympia. Like, what now, dude?
Man, I respect that, man. Man, taking weaknesses and using them as strengths, bro. Perceived weaknesses.
Perceived, yeah.
That's another piece too, man, is confidence, man. It's a lot of guys I work with, and even myself, man, it's once you start, it's getting past that hump of confidence, right? The first thing you want to do to build that confidence is start listening to yourself. If you tell yourself you're going to do something, do it. If you tell yourself you're going to get up early, do it. A lot of people are those midnight motivators. Man, tomorrow's the day. We're going to get up early, man, and then that alarm clock goes off and they're hitting snooze. Immediately, what's that doing to your self-worth? Man, if you say you're going to get on a program, you ask for the invoice, and then you don't do it. All these things, man, are chipping away at your self-worth. And it's very hard to get ahead in terms of confidence if you just don't do what you say you're going to do. So write down some goals and then do them. Get a little bit of a stacked good program. Start actioning it. Build that confidence, that self-worth back up. That goal setting, that muscle building, that better relationship. It's all rooted in a elevated state of confidence, elevated state of consciousness, confidence. All those pieces are absolutely essential to a high quality of life. Bad habits, drinking, poor performance at work, all these things are just chipping away at your confidence, man. And that's when you wake up in the morning, you feel like you want to fucking die, or you just can't get up. Bro, it's because your confidence is low. Once again, get that space. Get that space between bad habits. Get some space and distance, and let some time heal some things. It's so important to take that first step. And that first step is often the most challenging, right? It's the anticipation of, I can't do it. Am I gonna prove that I'm gonna fail? Don't worry about that, man. Nobody knows anything's gonna work out. There's no guarantees here. The only guaranteed thing is your life's not getting better if you stay exactly where you're at. Bottom line, if you don't change, nothing's gonna change.
That's it, man. If you don't take that first leap, and like we were talking about earlier, that's like so important. Is like, I've been guilty of it, right? Man, when I first stopped drinking at the firehouse, the boys are like, hey, do you wanna go out? I'm like, no, man, I'm just trying to get real diced up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like telling people the true thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't want to be that weirdo, right?
Yeah,
I don't want to have that. But it's like, hey, forget it. Be yourself.
Yeah.
If your conscience is screaming at you and telling you that you're not where you want to be, plant your 2 feet firmly on the ground and take your swing. Become who you want to become. It doesn't matter, man. And again, if your friends, your family, your loved ones are like not on board because they find out who the new you is or the true you is, what's the point? They weren't with you anyways.
It's true.
So it's like, just put it out there.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'm gonna achieve this goal. This is important to me, and take that first step.
Owning it's massive, man. Owning it's massive.
Well, it's massive because if you put it out there and you say, hey, I'm gonna achieve this, and you don't, that's our fear, right?
Yeah.
But we can't live in fear.
Yeah. Well, how about, you could just, and the interesting thing is you have full control over it. We have full control. If you say you're gonna do something, bro, it's on you. prove yourself right. That's the other piece, bro. I actually like when putting stuff out there because then it puts a little accountability on me. Man, I say I'm gonna do something, man. It was like, one of the things was going into the SEAL program. I was like, I wasn't telling everybody. People asked me, hey, I'm gonna go be a SEAL. The amount of fear I had for if I failed was like sky high, because then I'm gonna be embarrassed.
Yep.
But that embarrassment of failing, I straight up think got me through SEAL training, because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna lock on. Every run I was putting out, because I didn't want to be embarrassed. And that is, embarrassment's important, man. Shame yourself. Shame yourself for staying where you're gonna be. Shame yourself for not failing. Shame yourself for failing, bro. They say fail. The goal's not failing, the goal is to win. So stack the deck in your favor and win. Make it fucking happen.
That brings up a point. What were you doing before you went into the teams? Like, how were you training? Like, what was your program like?
So, dude, I got out of jail. I was like 230. I was like football fat, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like just not really. I was, eating too many top ramens. I could do like pull-ups and stuff, but I had no real understanding of diet, nutrition.
Yep.
Also, I wasn't doing enough cardio. So I'm just kind of like scaling up the weights, and I reached out to somebody. So that's just like a huge major piece. I reached out to somebody in the Naval Special, a SEAL, who ran the Naval Special Warfare like training program. And dude, I needed that peer pressure because I couldn't push myself hard enough cardio-wise.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. Like, I didn't know what pushing myself hard was. I played football and lacrosse, and so I got it. But like doing it to myself, so I did that, bro. And I was puking every day, half-mile sprints, and I was failing a lot of stuff. But soon, after like 6 months, I was like one of the better guys, right? Putting up good times. I lost 40 pounds in 6 weeks. 6 weeks, I lost 40 pounds, dude.
Wow.
And then I just kind of kept it up for like a whole year. And it was really, I lifted some weights still a little bit, but I was doing sprints, cardio, a lot of calisthenics, swimming, and it was all in a program.
Yeah.
That's why programs, man, I'll beat that drum all day long, because you don't know what you don't know. If you haven't pushed yourself super hard up to this point, you're not gonna fucking start doing it. You need outside accountability. The best people in the world, elite in all areas, have fucking coaches, man. I needed a coach. I needed a mentor. And I also liked that, just that pressure, that good peer pressure.
Yeah.
To, hey man, are you showing up to fucking training today? I was like, well, all right, yeah, I am, because embarrassment, bro. I never wanted to be viewed at as like fucking soft or like, that was important to me, man. I care about what people fucking think.
Yeah.
They go, I don't care what people think. You don't care what people think? You fucking should, man. I care if people respect me or not. So it forced me to show up. And dude, by the time, I never had an injury through buds or nothing, because my fucking bone density was built up from all the sprints. My diet, I changed my diet a little bit. I just started eating healthier and less.
Yep.
And dude, that's what I swear to God, what helped me.
Were you on day one, if we could like go back, like day one or week one, were you ever like 100% ready?
No. Fuck no. Dude, I'll give you an example. When I went to go, like, I'm gonna go test myself for this screening test I had coming up.
Okay.
I was like, all right, I mapped out 1.5 miles around my fucking neighborhood. I ran around the block, probably less than 1/4 mile, and stopped. I could not run further. I was like, oh man. And I looked at my watch and I went run for like 2 minutes, and I went, I think Navy SEALs run and shit, bro. I was like, well, I'm still gonna do it anyway. And I went, and guess what I did on that PST? I fucking failed. I wasn't ready, but I failed. But guess what that did? It showed me my glaring weaknesses, and then I went back, and then I went back, and then I went back, and then I went back. Never ready, and when I showed up to SEAL training, I was terrified. I was like, man, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
How do I measure up? You still fucking do it. Nobody's ever ready, bro. You know?
That's it right there. I mean, dude, firefighting's challenging. The fire academies that I've been through are challenging, but it's like at a Navy SEAL level, right? You excelled, you did well.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's the message right there.
Yeah.
Is that no matter how much you prepared, you were never 100% ready. There's always someone that could break you to make you better.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that's where you're at, if you're stuck and you're like, I'm not ready to go, or I want to lose 20 pounds before I start this program, or I want to get sober before this,
Yeah.
or I want to find. No, there is no.
You hear some of those?
There
You
is
get
no.
some of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no get ready to get ready. It's dude, plant your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
And take your swing, because you already know you're not where you're going to be. If you can not be ready and push yourself through Navy SEAL training, it's like, what else could you accomplish?
Dude, the get ready part, dude, I'll hear that sometimes. And anybody watching this, if you're holding up because you think you're not in good enough shape to get into a program or go for that job or whatever, I don't know how that makes any fucking sense at all, man. You don't get prepped to get prepped. It doesn't, like, just start. You're gonna get there faster, so you might as well do it. And you may get ready later, but how long is that gonna take? Why not just get ready faster? Dude, we don't have much time here, dude. You're burning time. Stop fucking burning. There's people out there living their fucking lives doing this. If you're not doing exactly what you want to do, in the body you want, in the mind you want, change everything. Change everything you're fucking doing. Reset, get some outside accountability, and start working. It's gonna happen faster. Help yourself out, man. Expedite. Put some gasoline on the fire, bro.
Dude, I
like this machine.
I get a lot of my moral compass, obviously, from my faith. And it's like, no one would ever say, I have too much sin to go to church. I'm too bad. And it's like, you look at all these, not even Christianity, you look at all these holy texts, all these people that found their faith, that wrote these books, all throughout different cultures. Dude, they were bad dudes.
Yeah.
And it's like, they didn't get clean before they came to find their faith. It's the same thing. You don't get fit to get fit.
Yeah.
You don't get ready before you get ready. You just do it.
Yeah,
and you find yourself on that path. And then the next thing you know, you look back and you're like, dude, I'm a different guy from 6 months ago. That's power.
Yeah.
And now you're unstoppable. And you find yourself loving the process. You love that your alarm goes off at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, dude, I'm going to Metroflex today with my boys.
Yeah.
I'm going to go work out. I love this.
Yeah, so do I, yeah.
Maybe other people might not love it yet, but you will if you find it. You will.
It becomes something different than love too. It's like necessity, man. It's like it becomes so wired into your double helixes. Can't remember the last time I slept in years. I don't think I could, because I'd be riddled with anxiety. Because I also enjoy waking up, I enjoy my life. And am I always like not tired? No, but I would much rather get up and be a little tired than lay in bed and then wake up knowing I could have been 3 hours ahead. I could have been operating at a higher frequency already. I already could have gotten back to clients. I already could have done all this stuff versus what? Sleeping in my little blankies and my little fucking smoochy. Dude, that's soft, bro. Get the fuck up. Dude, it's like fluid, thought speaks. So when you're doing podcasts and all these things, also when you're talking to clients, but on that practice with yourself, it's such a skill set that when you view it like that, you're like, all right, I'm gonna train in the gym, then I'm gonna train on my communication. It's the same. It's exactly one and the same, and you just get better and better and stronger.
Yeah.
It's a muscle, man.
I mean, everything we do, bro, everything we do, you get better at or you don't get better at. And it doesn't matter, dude. Like, if you're not happy with where you're at, it's like, hey, like, that didn't go well. Well, you got two choices. You're gonna continue living in that, in shame like you do. Like, negativity makes me thrive and push forward, but others don't, and that's fine. Know yourself, find a coach that's gonna be able to give you what you need, and if it's positive reinforcement, then look at how far you've come. You're like, hey bro, I'm a savage, dude. We were talking about it earlier, man. A lot of people, you come to the gym and you're like, bro, I'm not fit enough to be here. No, if you're new, welcome. If you are an advanced lifter and you feel a little bit stuck, then get a mentor and get right. But really, I want to tell people, hey, just walk through a Walmart. Walk through a Walmart after 30 days, 90 days of a program of keeping your word to yourself. You're already in the top 1%. Use that as fuel. Like, I am a person, doesn't even matter if you don't even get a hard workout in. 15, 20 minutes. My alarm clock went off. I did what I said I'm gonna do. Now you're not reacting to the world. You're just pushing forward.
And that's an important piece you're talking about, is that deliberate living. The amount of people that live deliberately is a fucking cunt, which is the smallest increment of measurement known to man. It is small, man. Live deliberately, get yourself a good daily structure, and live by it. It's a very few select percentage of people that operate that way. Most people are waking up whenever, throwing whatever in their mouth, speaking and communicating to people whenever. Their emotional frequency and vibration is wherever. Nothing's controlled. Get control over all those things. Your clarity is going to improve massively. Once your clarity improves, relationship with your kids improve, the way you communicate improves. Bro, your lens on the world clears up. Man, you start to see opportunities, right? That optimism, it sees opportunity. That's how you're going to start living your life. Man, once you bump up to that next elevated state, that's your new baseline, man. Your new baseline, every day is not perfect, but most days should be pretty fucking good. That's really, if most of your days aren't pretty fucking legit, then we need to adjust some things. And most people don't need drastic course corrections. You need small incremental adjustments done over a long period of time. That's seriously what the game is all about, and consistently.
Dude, when you say live deliberately, that hits hard. You know what I mean? It's that focus, you know, because it's like, I tell people all the time, and people have met me 10 years ago or met me now, they're not meeting the same person. You know what I mean? They're like, you're very positive now.
Yeah.
But I don't wake up like that, bro.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and say it. I wake up, sometimes I'm angry.
Yeah.
A lot of times I have a lot of anxiety. And a lot of times I wake up with bone-crushing self-doubt. Straight up.
Yeah.
There is a voice in me that's like, hey bro, just hide under the covers.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah.
And I have a daily process. And I started out deliberately, like you state, with gratitude.
Yeah.
And that's prayer.
Yeah.
And I've even changed this whole process for myself, has even changed the way that I pray. Something I've been doing since the beginning.
In what ways?
I give thanks first.
Wow, I like that.
I ask at the tail end.
Yeah.
Everything is gratitude first, thankful. And then truly, my new prayer for the last 2 years has been, God, if there is anything that you do not want me to do, slam the door in my face. Do not let me walk through it. Before it was like, hey God, how about you just push me through and like, I'll get you back. I'll drop that 10 in the collection bucket, right?
I'll give you an IOU.
But then also on the other end of that prayer is, if you open up a door, please make me strong enough to walk through it.
Yeah.
Slam it in my face and let me walk through. So now I've started with gratitude, saying, I'm a leaf in the wind.
Yeah.
Take me where you want, right? And then after that, if I have some asks, my family's safety, happiness, health, those all come. But again, whether you're a man of faith or not, talking to conscience, the sun god, I don't care who you're talking to, but you're giving thanks first.
Yeah.
It's going to eliminate some of that anxiety. It's going to eliminate some of that bone-crushing self-doubt.
Yeah.
Because when you spend 20 minutes with your higher power and say thank you first,
charges you.
How can you just say, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough? You just gave it up to a divine creator saying thank you for this abundance.
Yeah, you're immediately shifted gears.
It is.
Yeah.
And then if your mind doesn't shift, you want a mental shift, change your physical state.
Yeah.
Come in here, meet with your community. If you haven't came in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, you're gonna meet people that are like you.
Yeah.
You're gonna meet cool friends because everyone else is on the same journey.
Yeah.
You change your physical state, now all of a sudden the gratitude just comes in.
It is, and gratitude's an action word. We've talked about a little bit about that before. Is you show gratitude. It's not just a feeling, man. It's not just I have gratitude for this. Oh, cool, and then just continue to be a piece of shit, bro. That's not show. You got to prove that you have gratitude for something, and watch the blessings come your way. Don't block your blessings by not living to your potential. Don't block your fucking blessings by making poor choices, and by, more importantly, not making the correct choices to get to where you need to be. Start your day with some gratitude, man, and then follow it up with action, proving it. Massive. I'm gonna do one more of these.
You got just wise words, my friend. I love it. I love it. it's funny, man. Starting this journey, you know, I get people from all over the country now, you know what I mean? Just got a guy in New Jersey and he's like, hey bro, like all my friends are still drinking. They're all still living this negative way. And he's like, how do I, you know, why I joined the community, why I wanted to coach, why I wanted to talk to everyone. And I'm like, bro, just start showing up. Hit Friday night, Saturday night workouts, Sunday morning, you're gonna be around your people. I mean, it's like, dude, this place looks like a freaking pirate ship. It's got badass music. You meet badass dudes. I mean, like, this is home, bro. This is home.
It also is just time, man. It's the time. If you don't allow yourself time to do fucking dumb shit, you're not gonna do dumb shit. And so a lot of it was like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
What do I do with my hands for most of the day? And man, I still have to be very conscious of making smart choices, because if I have too much time, my mind immediately starts to go pleasure seeking. It wants to do nothing, or it's strange. And I always notice that pathology I have. So what do? I started filling it up with the gym.
Yep.
Started going, all right, man, if I got some, I'm gonna go round 2. Oh, I'm gonna start answering, I'm gonna get on these emails. I'm gonna start put out some more content, produce. Just substitute. Success is a process of subtraction and substitution. Those two things paired together, you're gonna simplify your life, and you're also going to start progressing much, much more rapidly. Always something you can do, and there's always this evolving understanding. Like for me, my life's different from beginning of the year. Right? I got a baby on the way. I've learned more about myself. Man, I've made most mistakes, learned some different things, right? I'm not some perfect piece under glass. And so what I like about these gym sessions, and we got a lot of followers and people in the programs on the roster, and people in these like minds here, which, you know, they get to see the progression, see the evolution of our thought process, mind, body, soul, life. And I'm gonna keep doing these, man, until I'm fucking 80. I swear to God, bro. I'm gonna do these until I'm like in my Velcro shoes, bro, like walking around the gym, dude. You know what I mean? just like talking about like, man, I'm those damn whippersnappers not putting their weights away, you know. My day, we re-racked all the weights, you know. I'm gonna keep doing it, man, and everybody wants to come on this ride, bro. I'm gonna do it, because also who we get to meet, like, we don't get a chance to talk like this because we're busy.
Yeah.
Just we're busy doing shit. You got family, and so, but we do always take time for the gym, and so might as well talk about growth, family, fitness, finance, all these things when we're in the gym where we would be normally anyway.
But it's like, it's no coincidence that you get the best conversations with your friends in the gym, because again, you're changing your physical state, and it's that separation from that I mentality, the ego, right?
Yeah.
You're in here, you're breaking yourself down, you feel your community, and then it's like, that's why every single gym session goes to growth, spirituality, finance, your family, and it goes to everything that you're like grateful for. It's like the perfect.
Oh, I like that. I got the chills when you said it. It does. It naturally flows. You flow state into gratitude when you're. Ooh, I like that. Flow state into gratitude when you're in the gym. You just immediately, because you're here, man. You're showing you're grateful, bro. You're using your physical presence and proving in this moment that you want to be better, that you're going to be better, that it's not always easy. It's like 2 feet planted into your future. Very, very cool how all the synergy that happens, and the connectivity, man, of the communication, and how it all brings it together.
Dude, it takes action. It takes action to change, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you want to change your mental state, then change your physical state.
Man, you know what's an interesting thing that I've heard, which I really like to use, is you can't think your way out of a situation you acted your way into.
Yes.
And so if you've acted your way into a poor body, a poor lifestyle, poor habits, you're not gonna sit on the couch and like strategize your way out of it. It's impossible. You have to start taking action to actually pull yourself out of it. And that's a reality that I had to understand, because when I was getting off fentanyl and I had lost my entire life in it at all, and I had really bottomed out because I wasn't smart enough to see the backslide until it was too late. I was sitting in my truck, like on a suicidal state, man, and I was like thinking and strategizing,
Yeah.
right? Which what has its place, right? You got to take some time to isolate. But then I realized, bro, me sitting in this truck is not going to solve a fucking thing. And there's no answer going to be slid into the door. There's nobody coming to save me. I have to start taking massive action, and that's when I went in the Florida Legion. But that was, you don't need to make bottom out that hard or take drastic action that long if you're smart enough, smarter than I was, to stop yourself before you get there.
So what did you do immediately? You're in the truck, you're strategizing.
Dude, I put the gun down because I was
Okay.
it was like, you know, that was the first thing, and I went, all right, well, I'm gonna have to store my stuff and get a plane ticket.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I'm not gonna stay here. So I had no money, man. So I was like, well, I took some fast cash loans out, right? I just immediately got on the phone.
Yeah.
Called, like, my credit was shit because I had just burned everything to the ground, right? And I took like two $500 fast cash loans out and made it happen, bro. Stored my shit at somebody's house and started my plan. And so that I just took like immediate action on like, all right, well, this is happening, so we got to get out of this situation, you know, that change your latitude, you change your attitude, man. Move a little bit.
But all you did is just take action, right?
Yep.
And maybe if you'd go back now, you would have done things maybe a little smarter, a little different, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You separated yourself again from the ego, from sitting in that truck and saying, the world is after me. I. And it's like, bro, like that's when I wake up in the morning and I have that just bone crushing self-doubt. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
Stop it. Like,
Yeah.
do you want to hang out with you right now? No. Get on your knees and say everything you're freaking thankful for. And all of a sudden you're like, oh shoot.
Dude, I like that.
It's like, stop with this I mentality, dude.
Well, would they want to hang out with me?
I think about that sometimes. Like, hey, if I would call my friend, does he want to listen to this bitching? No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
he wants to hear
nobody likes the Johnny Raincloud, man.
No, bro. And I've been guilty of it.
Oh yeah, we all have.
I've been guilty of it, that it's just, everything's going wrong for me, Taylor. Everything's going wrong. Eventually, bro, you're going to stop picking up the phone.
Yeah, and also, you're just gonna start seeing, yeah, everything is gonna go wrong. You keep saying that. And solution oriented. So that's kind of something which was like my mantra now. Once I started to, I stay solution oriented, not problem fixated. Solution oriented. You're always going to get negative external variables, negative friction, people, places, things. Okay, assess it unemotionally, stoic. All right, how do I solve this problem? How do I circumvent this obstacle? Do I go through it, under it, over it? There's always a way. Find a solution. Is it just not going to work out? You're just going to stay exactly where you're at? No, it's going to get figured out. So let's do it quickly. Immediately when you switch into just a solution-oriented mindset, it helps to not be in low vibrational states, right? You're not hung. It's hard to be very solution-oriented when you're hungover as shit, for example, right? Because just you're so low, everything seems more complicated. We've all woken up hungover and shit, and even going to the fucking grocery store seems complicated, you know? Yeah, we've all been there. So it's, man, clear your life, clean your life up, so that you can see things in the correct frame. And then at that point, now you can start solving problems much more rapidly.
And you even said it, dude. You went out at a high level to become a Navy SEAL. You got a coach, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, why would you not, as a professional, as a busy, or even if you're not a busy individual, why do you not just cut through the BS and get someone that can get you to your path faster? Every single process I've ever wanted to do, whether it was training, nutrition, firefighting, my spirituality, I have a coach.
Yeah.
Right? I have someone that's already been there.
Yeah.
It's like we're looking at that mountain, and we think that there's some pride at getting to the top. When there's someone that's like, hey bro, I dug a cave all the way through. Yeah. Come with me.
Yeah, I like
right?
that.
We all want to be on the other side of that mountain. There's no like pride in being like, well, it took me 10 years to figure this out to lose 5 pounds. It's like, no, you're busy. Why not just cut through the BS
you're busy.
and follow someone and then think about what you can build off of, right? You're grateful, your mindset, now you have something to lose. For me, every single day that I didn't backslide, I have more to lose. It gets easier. I fall in love with the process more, right?
Yeah, and people talk about, hey, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Yeah, it's about what you learn on the journey, but results matter because they keep you in the game, right? Results fucking matter. Bro, you're not journeying anywhere if you're not making progress. That's the other piece too, man. You gotta be making progress to be moving forward. So it is about results a little bit because it shows that the path you're on is correct, right? You wanna start hitting wickets. You wanna start achieving some things. You wanna start having some social proof. You wanna start feeling good, man. And so you got that warm fuzzy that what you're doing is actually working. So results matter, man. And what you learn in the process on the correct path, that's the key part. So you're not traveling with no map. It's like, yo, bro. Steve, what's up, man? Yo, we got my man Steve Cole in the house. Stand by, bro.
How you doing, bro?
Dude, I'm solid. Yeah, we'll be touching base on some stuff, man. Careful, that man knows his business, man. We plugging him in soon. Okay.
I do hear that a lot, that it is about the journey, and I agree with you. We do learn a lot on that journey, but again, if your conscience is screaming at you to be somewhere different, then get to where you think you wanted to go faster, and then how much more can you achieve? How much more can you provide for your family? Well, if you circumvent that step, your journey's even greater.
Yeah, it's way greater because then you're gonna go further too. It's
you're just gonna go further.
And think about it like this, like nowadays, people are like, hey man, I wanna head north, right? I wanna drive north in the car. You're not gonna plug it in your fucking Google Maps where you're trying to go, the address, or you're just gonna head north. You know, it's like, you're gonna look, man, okay, what's the most efficient way to get there? That was a game changer. I'll give you an example. I didn't know anything about macros, man, but I still got a lot to learn. I still got a lot of improvements I need to make on my body, right? Get a little tighter, get a little more lean. You know, it's all part of the process. But dude, I knew nothing about it, and I was like, I'm a SEAL, I'm a Legionnaire. Nobody can tell me how to eat and train. And I had been kind of jacked, you know, but what I was doing in my 20s wasn't working in my late 30s.
Yeah.
And so I realized that my focus had to narrow, my information had to get more accurate, my execution had to get more accurate. And once I did, I got back to my energy got back. I understood how to change my body much more rapidly. Dude, so I got like a new juice of motivation, man, because it felt like I was treading water and guessing, and that was really exhausting. It was making me exhausted, like not knowing what the fuck I wasn't doing correctly.
Well, it's funny that you talk about the GPS, right? And we were talking earlier about like firefighting and how it's challenging. That's too light. And how it's challenging to eat right when you're on the job. But it's like people ask me, I just had someone earlier ask me a couple days ago, what happens when someone cooks an unhealthy meal at work, right?
That's a good question.
It's a great question, and it happens a lot because our kitchen table is our community.
Yeah.
That's where people always say the kitchen table solves everything.
Yeah.
I've heard guys get talked off of ledges.
Yeah.
Divorce, death, everything, right? That's where we're communing. Like that's important to us. And I don't want to take any of that away from them, but it's like, if you don't have the roadmap, if you don't know your total daily needed calories, you don't know carbohydrate, protein, and fat, your macronutrient, then what is a healthy meal?
Yeah.
What is an unhealthy meal? You don't even know, you don't even have the roadmap.
Yeah.
You just know you're not in the right spot. So I tell people, number one, obtain the roadmap.
Yeah.
First, define your goal. Give me your top 3 goals. Okay, now we're gonna take one.
Yeah.
Good, that's your 1-year goal. I wanna lose fat. Okay, now we have a defined goal.
Yeah.
Then obtain a roadmap. What's my total daily needed calories? What's my macro split? And how do I get in a small calorie deficit? Because a small calorie deficit is super important. So you have energy, motivation, and you're happy.
Yeah.
Because looking fit and being unhappy is meaningless.
Well, how do you, so like if you say somebody makes a meal that's, you know, just, you know, not as healthy or is a little bit higher calorically.
Yes.
Are you just like, all right, I'm gonna be more cognizant of my calories, you know, after or before? Is that kind of how you gauge that? Or and you're like, okay, I can eat this. You kind of know what's what?
Yeah, so that's a really important question. So, number one, I have my roadmap. I've been eating like this for a long time. So I'm better at intuitive eating, but for someone that's just starting, again, unless you know how many calories you need and where you're at and you're not tracking it, then you don't know what to add or subtract, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So in the beginning, obtain the roadmap. Sorry, even first, define your goal. Know where you want to go. Obtain your roadmap, right? Now I know what's healthy and what's unhealthy for me. And find someone that's been there before,
also,
right?
portions, I'm sure for you, you're like, yeah, I know, all right, I can eat this and that and it still be kind of in the window. And
yes, but what I found success with working with firefighters and what I did when I first started is I packed in my meals. I packed in breakfast, lunch, and my 2 snacks. So 75% of my calories were already defined. Now again, if we catch a fire or have some hard training, I add in healthy foods, a little bit more. And I listen to my body because obviously performance and happiness is, you know, I can't get injured, right? So then I know how many calories I'm at. Guy has the unhealthy meal. I can start picking things apart, right? I can reduce the sauce. I've already been weighing my food out so I understand where the fat's coming from. I understand reducing the pasta out of here, right?
That's a smart, and you're like, no, exact, and also you already had control over 75% of your day.
You did, right? So I tell everyone that I work with, fitness, we're gonna pick the low-hanging fruit first, right? We got 10 fingers, let's knock down the easiest ones. You don't ever see the monkey that wants a banana, does he go to the top of the tree? No, bro, he goes and picks the easiest one, right? You're drinking Mountain Dew? No more Mountain Dew. You eat 5 bags of Cheetos? No more, right? Let's pick the low-hanging fruit, right? So breakfast, lunch, and your snacks, and then eat with the boys at night. Do that first, prove to yourself that you can stay on a program, right? Then start reducing, start picking that meal apart.
Smart.
The next step, if you want to, is then basically count out and then bring in your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I've been doing that recently, but what I do to make sure that I'm still of worth and I'm still into my community, I'm still cooking in the rotation with the boys. I'm still helping out in the kitchen. And even if at home I eat at 5 p.m., no, I wait to make my food and I drop it on the table with my community and we eat and commune together. Right?
I like that.
In the beginning, control 75 to 80%. It's absolutely doable at the firehouse. Then when all that low-hanging fruit has been picked, if we need to adjust more, we adjust. But attacking it too fast is not the answer.
That's smart too, is because I get a lot of guys that are like, if it's not perfect, I'm not doing it. Right? And so they're like, well, I had a bad morning and so I just said, fuck it, and I'll get back on it, tracking tomorrow. And I go, dude, you're missing the whole point. This is the part of the journey, right? This is exactly what we're speaking to. Man, just get right back on it. You had a bad meal, okay. But now you still have control over 80% of the food in the day. Do what you can, and then do what you can't, what you think you can. And it's just that constant flow, staying conscious about what you're doing, being mindful. What Travis is talking a lot about here is mindfulness. The minute you increase your mindfulness with your education, oh man, that's powerful. You got accurate education, accurate information with increased mindfulness and better discipline. All those things combined, man, you're destined for success. It's inevitable. That done with consistent execution is powerful.
And dude, what's inevitable? Failure. You're gonna overeat. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna backslide, and that's okay. But when you have that goal clearly defined, go to bed, put that guilt away, say, I restart. That's it. That's a beautiful thing. Guess what? The gym is still here.
It's not going nowhere.
And for anyone that's nervous about starting a journey, and that could be through rebuilding your marriage, getting a new career, or fitness, it's like, just start. Drop the fear, and then drop the ego. Because the ego is like, I deserve this. Me. And again, of course, my life is not perfect. But I find I'm the happiest I've ever been when I'm not focused on myself. Right? And so I had a career where it was like I could help people. And now I'm coaching others, and I can get into that sense where it's like me, but now I'm like, no, how's Taylor doing? I'm gonna reach out to him. And I'm solving your problems. And in sense, I'm giving you advice, and it's so much easier to give others advice, but you're learning about yourself too. So when you go and seek others out, and it's like, oh my gosh, my life is getting better.
It's also this sanity check on yourself, right? Because you don't want to be a fucking hypocrite. And that's like a major piece, is like this. You don't want to be a fucking hypocrite. It's like, man, if I'm like, I'll give you an example. I'm like, I can intuitively eat pretty good, right? I kind of have a good example. But then sometimes I'm like, man, I haven't really tested myself and really been, 100%, right? I'm like pretty good all the time. But man, I'm like, you know what? All right, start tracking everything, every fucking almond, right?
Yep.
I'm like, I'm gonna hold this. Like, where am I really at? It's that constant resetting. It's that constant dropping of the ego. You never know it all, man. The minute you know it all, it's just like in a combat environment. One of the most dangerous guys is some of the older guys who are like, hey man, we did it like this back in the day. It's like, yeah, but battlefields change, enemies change, technology changes, things change. So you gotta be able to adapt, change, and that takes dropping ego. The most dangerous people in the military are dudes with huge ego who aren't willing to listen. And that goes for life, anywhere. I'm sure you've had people in the firehouses and whatever, and they know the best way. It's like, man, times change, people change, things change. Some things stay the same, but we ought to be willing to adapt and listen, man. Bro, iconoclast, right? You can't fit somebody in a box. Bro, I don't spend all day in the gym. My whole world's not working out. You're definitely not. Like I got other interests, other relationships, things I want to do. I focus on my client. Man, fitness is a piece of your life. There's bodybuilders, that's their whole life. For me, that's not it. I engage in other things. I have different interests, and man, I like to get in here, but it's a vehicle to get this where I want it to be. And that's the difference. Is it's a really good hobby. It's a really healthy place to be. It's a really good vehicle to elevate yourself, your life, all these different pieces, but that's exactly what it is. It's a piece, right? It doesn't have to be your whole world. You don't need to become a bodybuilder, man. Just get yourself better. A better fitness is absolutely essential to a better life.
It's like, what are you willing to give, right? And it's like, my program is a little bit more extreme than some of the people that are on it, right? But I mean, in all actuality, in 7 days, I'm in the gym 7 to 8 hours. Yeah. That's it. And so yeah, if you look at my Instagram, maybe it's like, oh, that's all that guy is. It's like, that's a vehicle for my clients, for people to see, like, be motivating. But it's like, also you have to be wary of, like, people show you what they want to show you on social media, right? But yeah, it's a very, very small piece.
And that's why it's important, dude. I like to do videos when I'm in a bad, people see me, I do posts when I'm just like, something bad happened or whatever. And I like that because you have to show the full spectrum. And it's important for everybody to remember who's doing this, who wants to be authentic, is you got to show the bad and the good.
Absolutely.
And showing when you're not in the best psychological state, or definitely not motivated, or show yourself tired at work, be like, man, dude, right? Yeah. And here's how I think in this time. I think that's an important piece to remember. Yeah, man. This is a dice up season. I need to get a little bit tighter, bro. Get the veins popping a little more. Oh man, I was like 230 the other day. I was like, whoop, a little too big, man. Hit that bulk a little too hard.
Yeah, but dude, it's like,
yeah, I was like,
we're not perfect year round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're constantly changing. Sometimes you got to put on a little bit.
Yeah.
To cut back, gain some strength.
Yeah.
And it's like, show what you are year round. We're humans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, are you happy at all times?
Yeah.
Where you are? No.
That's the fun. Like, that's the fun of it.
It's the fun of it, and it's like, dude, that's God's gift. It's like, no, I'm not happy at all times. I always have something to strive for.
Yeah.
That's what the gym teaches you.
Yeah.
That you always have something to strive for.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start like pushing the legs a little harder and this and that, and I was like, whew. And I just, eat and put the protein down, and then when I start to feel like my mobility starts to suffer, that's when I'm like, I just start to feel a little uncomfortable at like 230. I ideally want to be like 215, same muscle mass. It's like ideally where I think I'd be happier. This is kind of a nice machine, huh?
Dude, a lot of this stuff is from the old school, man.
Yeah.
I just shot out to this little tiny gym in Prescott, Arizona, and it had all these super old school machines, dude. It was a blast from the past. It was so awesome. I'm a gym tourist, bro. One of my favorite things to do is when I...
Ooh, I like that, gym tourist.
I'm a gym... Dude.
That's a good term, dude. I dig it.
I look for like just the dusty old place that's been forgotten, and I go there and just chop it up with the old timers, dude, just about the wisdom, you know?
Yeah, dude.
I love it.
It's got a nice little burnout, bro. Dude, I thank you for your time today.
Thanks, bro. Awesome, man.
Hey, man. Hey, thank you, everybody, for coming out. Once again, a little Sunday. Get out there, enjoy your life, make some positive choices, make some accurate, intelligent adjustments, and that's it, man. That's the name of the game, bro.
That's it, man. Remember, say thank you for everything you've been blessed to have. It's never wasted on me. Blessings receive, we feel. Get out there, give out some compliments to some people. What you feel you need the most is what I challenge you to put out into this world, and it'll only come back tenfold. I'm grateful, hang out with savages like this, be at a beautiful place. God bless.